So your neighbor across the street shooting ARs at your property. What do you do? So you have a little altercation. Your dog creeps across the road. Chasing some
Messing with the neighbor's sheep.
messing with the sheep. So what do you do if you're the neighbor? You pull out your AR and you start shooting at the dogs. And I mean, okay, I mean it's your
Yeah.
property. You have the right to protect your property if the dogs are fucking with your sheep or like hurting your sheep. But if
That's an extreme measure. There must have been more to it, past history that would have led to
Yeah.
this. For him to just pull out an AR and start shooting the dogs.
it's almost like it's got to be like bad blood and bad blood across the street. But the big problem is they're shooting at these dogs, but the bullets are whizzing across the road. Hitting mobile homes and whizzing past like
Yeah.
pregnant women.
Well, and set this up. So, this lady that she posted on the forum where this story came from, she's got 40 acres of property, and there's 4 houses on this property. She lives on it with her husband, and then all the 3 kids, they each live on the property as well in their own home. And the story is, you just described about the dog goes into the sheep, and the guy shoots at him, but his her daughter-in-law is actually down there checking the mail,
Yeah, when he starts shooting at the dog.
and there's a bullet that goes, supposedly right by her head and hits the house. I mean, crazy story. So
I love this where the cop said, "Oh, somebody made that hole in the wall with a pencil."
It's like,
That was his brother Rupert saying
Yeah.
that.
and then it's like the cops are saying that oh, it's no problem if the bullets go flying across the street. Like,
yeah, well, do you know the rest of the story? So supposedly, help me with this. So the bullet went fine, but the son, he was at the house. He heard the bullets going, so he was like, "What the crap?" So
Yeah.
he gets in his car, he drives down, and he's going after the neighbor after
Right.
he hears the gun shooting.
the guy, the brother of the pregnant girl, they go across the street
And
to
the
the guy
dad-
that's
the-
been shooting.
The dad also, he was
Yeah.
sleeping in. It was like 10 a.m. He got out of bed and followed the son-in-law or son over there to confront this guy, and they got
Yeah.
in like a heated exchange.
Yep. You know what it made me think about was that was it in Florida where the father and the stepdad got in a fight over a gun?
Oh, that was
and
in
he pulled-
Texas. It
in
was just
Texas,
like a
and they like
self-defense case.
pulled the gun and then he shot him. But
Well, he made the mistake that he actually knocked the guy's phone out of his hand as he was recording it.
Yeah.
This guy's got cameras all around the house. And so, I mean, they were saying on the forum that was a stupid mistake right there
Yeah.
because he could have shot him in self-defense
Yeah.
on his own property, or just he even warned him that this is my property, you shouldn't be coming on here.
Well, I'll tell you this much: knowing what type of people can live out in those rural areas and their attitude toward guns and things. I'm not talking about their level of education here, but I sure think that the family had a lot of kahunas to go across the damn street and confront the guy that
Yeah.
just been firing an AR-15 in their
Yeah.
direction. That took some balls,
Yeah,
by
they-
God.
they were not
And-
putting
and-
up with it.
And the other thing that impressed me, not one of them had a firearm. Now, there's a lot to that. So, and
during the confrontation.
yeah.
Yeah.
And the guy that got up said he was sleeping in late. Hell, he's probably heard the bullet. He's hearing all the commotion. What you gonna do? And you look out the window, you're gonna grab something.
Yeah.
He didn't even take a gun.
No,
And,
you
but that's
know,
a real man. He went over there and confronted them. It was like
exactly.
he was going to protect his
It's
kids.
like, come down off that porch. You put that AR-15 down. You come down here and let's you and me settle this right here in your yard. It's probably the type of man he was.
Well, and it's like people might say, "Oh, he shouldn't have gone and confronted him," but like, if you don't confront him, like, how is the guy gonna know that he's like got firing at your property? And I mean,
Right.
unless the guy trying to like make some excuse to like shoot over there.
Imagine like it's a scene in a movie and there's three of them sitting in the kitchen having breakfast, and all of a sudden the juice glass just explodes from a bullet, and oh, it's just Johnny's over there.
They just get another glass.
Smoking dope. A few more bullets whiz through the kitchen. They hit the floor. Give me some bacon.
Yeah.
You know, don't worry about it. It's Uncle Ted. He's crazy.
This is life in Alabama. Like,
Yeah. I think this is South Alabama. It's Geneva County.
come on, move down to Alabama. Like,
Yeah.
join us.
It's almost like your own episode of Yellowstone
It's
going
like typical.
on. Fight
Yeah.
over land.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't get
You
life.
got guns. You
Yeah.
got drugs.
But-
Supposedly, this
Hey.
guy he's rumored that he's a meth head and that he stays up at all hours of the night. He's got cameras all around his house. He's paranoid.
Oh yeah. There's a paranoia and meth abuse go hand
Yeah.
in hand.
And then
Well-
he's got connections with law enforcement.
Yeah.
So it just makes it just like Yellowstone
It was like,
as well. Like
the former sheriff. He's got a connection with the former sheriff, and the big thing about this. So we tell this whole story, and the police, the law enforcement down there is only coming in support of the guy that was shooting across the street.
right.
You know, they're not defending the people whose property was shot at. You know.
Right. And
Yeah.
could have been shot and killed.
Well, they can hire their own PR or something, but you know, it's real simple these days. You can take a pen laser and find the last hole that you can if it's coming through a clapboard house and get the light to go through the first hole. It's going to be easy to find. And once you find the second hole, you pretty much got a direct line of fire.
Yeah.
Right.
So I'm thinking, is he up on a porch? Here's the dog down here on the ground and the sheep. And what? Are they out on the street? Because over here's the mailbox of the girl, and he's shooting so low, the bullet. You see what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
The trajectory makes no sense.
The
There's
land,
a big.
the land
They
yeah.
just happened to punch a pencil through right at the perfect spot.
Yeah. That's
Ugh.
crazy that they didn't want to even investigate the bullet hole. But in this land, in this area, you've got rivers that run through, and so it's can be kind of hilly in different areas or low spots. I imagine that the other house is lower and this house is higher, and that's kind of how you get this angle to shoot the house.
Hey, listen.
But over their head.
What's that? Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun,
Beverly
dun, dun,
Hillbillies.
Yeah.
But I mean, you know,
Rednecks at their finest, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. She seems like a really nice lady, but I really just feel for her because she was asking for guidance, and a lot of people were coming out saying, like, you need a lawyer. You
Yeah.
need a good lawyer. Stop writing anything. Go talk to a lawyer because this is a crazy situation that seems to be getting turned against her. And I even heard that it went further, that all the charges she found out were being put on her husband and probably because he slapped the gun away, but the son was there, and the son was actually in the heated exchange as well. And but she was like calling the sheriff's office, like, why is my husband the only one charged for this? And she couldn't get an answer, so he had a warrant out for his arrest, and he showed up and actually got the orange jumpsuit on, and they looked at his driver's license, and they saw that it wasn't just that they had the wrong person. They actually had the warrant for the son, even though they had been telling her on the phone the whole time that the warrant was out for the dad. And so he went back and talked to the sheriff and told him, hey, we had it wrong, and you're both under arrest.
See,
So
that
they both
seems
have
like.
charges.
Oh,
See,
man.
that's a.
It's really corrupt sounding.
Seems like you can, but seems like the police department really screwed up with that. You know, if you're gonna wrongfully do that and screwed up a driver's license check or like social security check.
I think this will get cleared up pretty quick. This is on the UPI by now, and this is what you call embarrassing.
Well, if
It's on the Free Speech Forum.
yeah, I mean, like, and so.
if it's on the forum, it's over.
But what happens? What happens when the police aren't standing up for you? You know, you go to the media, and so that's what we're trying to help get the story out because, you know,
Yeah, I actually
if
have
it becomes
family that lives in Geneva County.
yeah,
And, I mean, I want to get this story out there
Yeah.
because it's really crazy.
So-
Like, I really feel for her, and could you imagine if this happened to your family?
yeah,
They're just trying.
Oh,
she's
my
just trying to
God.
protect her live on their land.
yeah.
And you had a recommendation to her. So what did you tell them to do? What would you do in this situation?
What would I do in that situation? I think I would return fire.
Really?
Hook her down!
I thought you
Hook
told-
her down!
I have a CZ-75,
You're an eye for an eye, huh?
21 shot. 9mm dum-dums. I'd have been
Well,
spraying that
I
house.
thought you told him to move though.
I think
Well,
Bob's been
no,
fired up through the
Actu-
podcast.
Actually, I did respond on the forum. Go check it out. And she went through a long. I mean, it's like the Declaration of Independence long.
She got
and-
the longest post of the year.
Yeah, and my answer was move. Do you remember the comedian Sam Kinison,
No.
the guy that would holler
Yeah.
when he was doing the bit about the people that had no water? And they were trying to get water and food down there to him. In one of his famous routines, he was on Johnny Carson. It was his first ever appearance, and he became an overnight millionaire with that because he got booked in Vegas. But he's saying, have you heard about those people? They're living down there in Africa, and they don't have any water, and they don't have any food, and they're starving. And he said, well, I've got one word for you in there. Move! you live in the desert! There's no food!
Can't grow anything. Well, luckily this land's pretty fertile, so
Yeah.
they can grow things. So.
But and on a serious note, it's like you don't want to move from a 40-acre property.
No,
raise
you don't.
Your family on.
You don't run.
Protect your turf.
I agree. You don't run from things like that. There's courts of law, hopefully, and there's jurisprudence, and we're going to get this investigated, and the right person's going to end up in jail. It sounds like Mr. Methane Cook, 40, sheep herder. And what else he might be doing out there, huh?
Security
Yeah.
camera, sheep herder, AK-47, holding
Yeah, she even mentioned
responsible citizen.
he moved the sheep closer to their property.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And it almost to reel them
Like
in.
let's line up the sheep here.
Yeah.
Make a spot for the dog here.
And the sheriff is not even backing her up. I mean, almost giving them free
Oh,
reign
my
to
God.
shoot at her property.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't know that.
Well, so if you got a story like that, or you want a community to come rally around you, come check us out on the freespeechforum.com.
Yeah,
And,
definitely. And like and subscribe and hit that alert button so you don't miss
Yeah.
another podcast.
For the strange and the unusual.
the freespeechforum.com.
You got it.
See you guys next time.
See ya.